I started this Minecraft survival world, and today we're going to be transforming this entire Mooshroom Island. But first, we got some things we gotta get set up with. Now, let's review what we have to get done. So, on our board, we're gonna upgrade our tools. This axe, this shovel, it's not cutting it. We're gonna need some better ones to get this job done. Not to mention, the armor's already losing it. Next up, we need to get resources. We're going to need a lot of grass, we're going to need a lot of dirt, and we're going to need a lot of stones to get this all done. Next thing, we're going to be hiding our farms. These farms here, not the most aesthetically pleasing. We don't like how they look, we're going to move them. Last thing that we need to do is do the thing. We're going to place the blocks, we're going to transform this island, make it start looking a little bit more nicer. Right, we're going to be starting off by rolling these villagers. Our goal is we're shooting for the Silk Touch enchantment. We want to get that on our shovel so we can easily collect the grass blocks. But throughout this process, we're also going to pick up a couple different enchantments as well to start building up a little villager trading hall here. First enchantment we happen to roll into is a mending book. We got that for 20, so we'll take that one. Then we got a protection book for 17, which is really good for that one. So we're definitely locking that trade in. Last trade here is we got a sharpness 5 for 26 emeralds. And finally we're going to combine that all together, mending silk touch on the shovel. We'll name the shovel Silk, so I remember. Alright, looking here, that's going to be our first objective done. Upgrade tools, I think we got it good enough. We got a silk touch shovel, and that's going to be most of our work. We already have a silk touch pickaxe, so I think we should be good to go to start working on this here. I crafted up some iron armor using all this spare iron we have. Next up is get resources. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go run and grab a ton of grass. Let's go do that. Alright, well, I was just jumping around waiting to record this next clip, but we actually got ourselves a wandering trader who has now put himself in the nether. So let's grab some of our emeralds. Let's go into the nether because he decided to go there. And all the way over there, I just barely saw him. Let's see what he has. Way to give us some emeralds, some woods. I do actually want these small drip leaves. We might be using those later. And I think we're just gonna end up taking everything, because the emeralds are basically free for me. So, hope he has fun in the nether there. Okay, so, with all that done, we got a bunch of grass. Probably not going to be enough, but it's going to be enough to at least start us off for now. Our next objective, like we talked about before, is we're going to be hiding our farms. So, I want these mushrooms not to be in sight. I think the wheat field I'll expand to be a part of the terrain, but the sugarcane and kind of the potatoes don't look very great. So we're going to try and push them underground, kind of hide them under here with a bunch of our villagers. So let's get to that and get that one done. Alright, we're going to start off by moving the mushrooms down here. I think I'm going to put a little mine entrance right here, a little tunnel into the hill that we'll be able to access the mushrooms from there. So we can start We're gonna make it pretty similar to the entrance I have over there for my villagers, just a little bit different. Okay, we've got this all mined out. We got our nice little cave down in here. Should be decent size for all the mushrooms to fit in. We're gonna place a bucket of water down here now, and we're gonna drop all the mushrooms down right through this hole here, which I believe is gonna be right over top of the farm. Yes, it looks like it is. We'll dig this out a little bit. And there we go. We got all the mushroom down here in this pen. All we gotta do is close up the ceiling now. They're a little bit more cramped in here than I thought they would be. So maybe we can just help them have breathing room. Nothing more. Just we're helping, really. Oh. But aside from that, that's gonna be good for that farm there. We can move on now to our next farm we're going to be working on, which I believe is going to be the sugar canes. We're going to push these underground. It'll be a good bit smaller, but still, we're going to push them underground so they're a little more out of sight. Alright, so you can see here, we're going to start off by digging a nice little hole in the wall here, right next to our mushrooms. We're going to dig this out a little ways, just to give us a little bit of space. We're going to be having a lot less sugarcane than we had before, because we don't really need it anymore. Once we have this fully dug out, we're going to then push this back a couple of blocks, and we're going to make room for the sugarcane. We'll place some water and some dirt down to put it there, and we'll go from there. And now we're actually going to say goodbye to all of our sugar canes. We're going to run through, we're going to punch down all of these. We had it stretching so far. It's time to get this eyesore out of the way. You can see it tracing the whole coast here, cleaning them all up, and we'll move them down to that little farm we made underground. And finally, you can see we're placing all the sugarcane down here. There's not much of it, but like I said before, we don't really need much of it going forward. So that's going to be plenty for us, and now we're going to move on, and we're going to go collect some sand. Alright, now it's actually time. We're going to finally start actually terraforming this island. We're going to start with chopping down all of these big mushrooms. Then we'll place some grass over everything, and from there we'll start to actually terrain and texture a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright, so to start off, we're going to be chipping away at this peninsula a little bit. We're going to be cutting back on it and pretty much taking out that whole area there, pulling it all the way back. Then we're going to start to turn this whole shore into a beach. I want most of the island to have a nice sand edge going around it, give it a nice little beachy look, while having the middle insides filled with grass. Overall for this island, I'm trying to go for a much smoother look. I think the Mooshroom Island natural generation tends to be very choppy. For this, I want it to end up being very smooth and nice rolling hills, making it a little bit nicer to look at. And you can clearly see as we go through this, we definitely needed that upgraded shovel. I had to go and repair this shovel at least 2 times during all of this, 3 times if you're including the resource gathering. We needed the mending, and we definitely needed the silk touch because I was not going to wait for this all to turn to grass. So I'm really glad we spent time today doing that. And coming up around this part, you're going to see a quick little jump cut here where I paused my replay mod and I forgot to start recording. So you can see that far end over there is fully chopped out. I cleared away the wheat fields and did all of that. Moving on next, you'll see this nice little cliff shore or cliff face I'm making here. I want this end of the island to end up being a very rocky shore, much more jagged than the rest of the island. The other island is sloping up to this sharper, harsher shore here that's going to be very rocky. Later on we'll texture it a bit more, but for right now it's just going to be stone. I didn't even use slabs or stairs yet, but we will add them in as we go. And now's the perfect time as any to mention, this is the biggest project I've done yet. If you liked it, if you're enjoying it, leave a like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things to help support the channel. I'm very new here and just having fun making videos. So if you like it, give some support. And if you're curious, we did end up running out of grass eventually. We started off this project with around 81 stacks of grass blocks alone, not even including the sand. So that's a double chest and a half of just grass, which is a crazy amount. We did have to go gather a little bit extra, but we were right around that area, which was kind of crazy for only doing this half of the island to start with. There is that other Mooshroom Island over there that we still want to add on to later. And as we come to the end of this time lapse here, you'll notice that the end of my replay file did end up bugging out and didn't save properly, so I wasn't able to fully get the time lapse of the finished result. So once this is done here, we can run through it in first person. I can give you a full look on how this final product turned out. Alright, and here we are, the finished product. I got it all converted into grass. Granted, it doesn't look great right now. Next time we're going to start adding things together. We're going to bone meal the grass. We'll start texturing a little bit more. But for right now, it's all looking pretty good and pretty up to par on how I wanted it to be. We ended up turning this little cave here into a little bit of a river. And we've made this end of the island nice, smooth, sloping hills, which I think turned out very nice and looks pretty good. The cliff face over here, it's gonna end up needing a lot of texturing still. So right now it's all stone. There's no stairs or slabs put into it. It looks very iffy. But I think the blocks are in the right places. We just need to end up texturing it a bit more. Overall, I think this is all turning out pretty good. Everything we've done today was very helpful, very productive. I'm glad we got to do it. And that's gonna come to a close on this video. If you liked watching, leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. But that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.